My daughter just gave her mother-in-law a $15,000 trip to Paris for Christmas. She gave me a pair of socks with the price tag still on them, $4.99. I'm Eleanor Davis, and I've spent 40 years sacrificing everything for my daughter Rachel. I raised her alone after her father died, worked double shifts, went without so she could have more, put her through college, helped with her wedding, gave her everything I had. Tonight, at Christmas dinner, I learned exactly what I'm worth to her. What happened next shocked everyone at that table, something they never expected from a quiet mother who always kept the peace. But before I tell you what I did, let me ask, have you ever given everything to someone only to realize you meant nothing to them? If this hits home, subscribe. I share real stories every day, and I'd love to know where you're watching from. The dining room is full. 12 people around the table, Rachel and her husband Mark, his mother Margaret, his sister Eleanor, a few cousins, some friends, crystal glasses, white tablecloth, a chandelier that costs more than my monthly rent. Rachel's hand reaches past me, her nails painted red. "Here, Margaret, open it." She slides a glossy envelope across the table to Mark's mother. Margaret gasps before she even knows what's inside. Everyone leans in. Chairs screep. Rachel is practically glowing. "It's for Europe, Mom," she says, loud enough for everyone to hear. "You'll love spring in Paris." The room erupts. Laughter, applause. Margaret clutches the envelope to her chest like it's made of gold. She's already talking about museums she'll visit, cafes she's heard about, how she's always dreamed of seeing the Eiffel Tower. Rachel beams. This is her moment. Then her eyes flit to me, quick, satisfied. She nods toward a small, wrinkled bag in front of my plate. "And for you, Mom," she says like it's a formality, an afterthought. I peel back the thin paper. Inside, a pair of socks, cheap ones, the kind you buy at a gas station. The price tag is still dangling from the ankle. $4.99. I force my lips into a smile. They're shaking. I can feel them shaking. Laughter rolls around me, bouncing off the chandelier, filling every corner of the room. Margaret is still talking about Paris. Rachel is nodding, leaning in, asking which hotels Margaret wants to stay at. No one is looking at me. I hold the socks in my lap. My hands tremble. I press them flat on my knees, trying to stop the shaking. Rachel doesn't notice. Her attention is elsewhere, basking in Margaret's approval, in everyone's approval. I taste metal in my mouth. I keep smiling anyway. The laughter grows louder. All I can do is sit very still, as if that will keep me from breaking. 40 years. 40 years of sacrifice. Every small choice I made, every time I went without so Rachel could have more, every double shift I worked, every birthday I spent alone so she could celebrate with friends. All of it collapses into a silence that nobody else seems to hear. Then Rachel laughs again, louder this time. And I realize I've disappeared. I'm sitting right here at the table, surrounded by people. But I've vanished. I keep holding the socks, my hands frozen, waiting for someone to see me. But no one does. Dinner continues. Everyone pretends nothing happened. I keep my hands hidden beneath the tablecloth, pressing my trembling fingers into the rough seam. The socks are still in my lap. I can feel the scratchy fabric through the thin plastic bag. Rachel launches into another story about her latest marketing campaign. Her voice is bright, effortless. Laughter spills out as if nothing just happened. She leans toward Margaret, eyes shining. "You should have seen the boardroom, Mom," she says. Mom? She calls Margaret Mom. Everyone loved the idea. They said no one else could have pulled it off. Margaret nods, beaming. Her approval is obvious. She reaches over and squeezes Rachel's hand. "I'm so proud of you, sweetheart." Mark sits across from me. He notices, I can tell. His fork lingers above his plate. His brow furrows slightly. Our eyes meet for just a second. But he doesn't say a word. Not to Rachel, not to me. He just looks away, letting the silence settle around us, thick and heavy, as if he's hoping it will swallow any awkwardness whole. I try to steady my breathing, focus on the pattern of the tablecloth, the clink of cutlery, the hum of conversation around me. My tongue feels heavy, useless. I want to speak up, to ask Rachel about the socks, about the envelope, about what any of this means. But every time I open my mouth, she's already moved on. "Margaret, you'll need to book your flight soon. Spring in Paris fills up fast. I'll send you some boutique hotel options. Oh, and you'll love the restaurants I found." No one looks at me. I feel myself shrinking, folding inward, trying to disappear under the weight of everything unspoken. The room is too bright, the laughter too sharp. Every sound feels like it's cutting into me. Rachel leans forward, raising her glass. "Let's toast," she announces, "to family and to new adventures." Everyone lifts their glasses. Mark's eyes flick to mine, just for a moment, with something that might be apology, but he won't voice it. He never does. I force a smile, raise my glass. My hands are still shaking. The humiliation settles over me like a second skin. I wonder if anyone else notices how quiet I've become, or if silence is just the role I'm meant to play tonight. The air grows heavier with every minute. We're all pretending nothing is wrong, but I can feel the truth pressing in from the edges, waiting for someone, anyone to acknowledge it. No one does. 3 days later, I find the socks again. They're tucked in the drawer where I hid them after Christmas dinner. The plastic bag is still stiff. The price tag still dangles from the ankle, $4.99. I hold them in my hand. The gray wool is rough against my palm. And suddenly, I'm back there, 25 years ago. Rachel was 5 years old. We were living in a one-bedroom apartment with heat that barely worked. It was the middle of winter. Our breath made little clouds in the air. She sat on the edge of her narrow bed, shivering. Her coat, the only one she had, was threadbare, sleeves too short, elbows worn almost through. "Does it hurt, sweetheart?" I asked. I was holding a candle for light because we couldn't afford to keep the electricity on all day. My hand shook as I threaded a needle. "Just a little," Rachel whispered. She forced a smile, trying to comfort me. I patched her coat with scraps of flannel. My stitches were uneven, but I didn't care. All I cared about was sealing out the cold. I remember making a promise to myself that night. Quietly, fiercely. Rachel will never feel poor again. Not if I can help it. Not while I have anything left to give. I worked double shifts at the diner, took on cleaning jobs on weekends, saved every penny I could. When she got older, I made sure she had nice clothes for school, new shoes when she needed them, money for college applications. I wanted her to have everything I never had. I wanted her to feel secure, loved, valued. Back in the present, my fingers clench around the socks. The radiator clicks off. For a second, I feel that old chill in my bones. I set the socks back in the drawer, carefully this time. The memory lingers, sharp, stubborn, impossible to ignore. I understand now, with sudden clarity, how that vow shaped everything that came after, and how much it hurts to realize Rachel no longer needs my warmth. Or maybe she never valued it at all. A knock sounds from the hallway. I close the drawer and steel myself for whatever comes next. The knock is Linda, my neighbor, my only real friend. She's been checking on me since Christmas. She stands in my kitchen, hands full of groceries I didn't ask for. Her eyes scan my face, looking for cracks. "You know you did the right thing, Eleanor," she says. Her voice is gentle but steady. She squeezes my shoulder. "Don't let them make you second-guess yourself." I nod, but I'm not sure what right thing she's talking about. I haven't done anything yet. Just kept the socks, hidden them away, said nothing. Maybe that's the problem. Mark arrives next. He shuffles in with a paper bag clutched to his chest like a peace offering, probably cookies or something Margaret baked. He smiles, but it doesn't reach his eyes. Rachel's worried. We all are. I doubt that, but I stay quiet. Maybe we can talk, work things out. His words are careful, neutral, like he's balancing on a wire, desperate to keep everyone happy. Work what out? I ask. He shifts his weight. Rachel didn't mean anything by the gift. She thought you'd appreciate something practical. Practical? $4.99 socks with the tag still on. And Margaret? I ask quietly. Was that practical too? Mark looks at the floor. That's different. Margaret's going through a hard time. The divorce hit her hard. Rachel wanted to do something special. I see. Margaret gets $15,000 because she's going through a hard time. I get socks because I'm supposed to appreciate practical. Never mind that I raised Rachel alone for 18 years. Never mind the double shifts, the sacrifices, the nights I went hungry so she could eat. Mark doesn't say any of that, of course. He just stands there hoping I'll make this easy for him. I don't. Then Margaret arrives. I smell her perfume before I see her. Sharp, expensive, filling the air between us. She sweeps in, clutching her Paris envelope like a trophy. "Mark tells me you've been having a difficult time, Eleanor," she says. Her smile is tight, condescending. "I'm fine," I say. "Well, I do hope things work out for you." She doesn't sit, just hovers near the table, making sure I see the envelope in her hand. The trip. The applause. The way everyone celebrated her while I disappeared into the background. She's here to remind me of my place. Eleanor, Mark's sister, not me, lingers by the window. Polite but distant. She offers a thin smile, barely meeting my eyes. She doesn't want to be caught in the middle. Her silence says enough. We stand there, circling each other, words brittle as old china. Mark wants peace. Margaret wants validation. Linda wants me to stand up for myself. But no one asks what I want. No one asks how 40 years of sacrifice added up to $4.99. The tension thickens. No one dares to break it. Finally, Margaret speaks. "Well, I should go. I have so much to plan for the trip. Rachel's been such a dear, helping me with everything." She leaves, trailing perfume and satisfaction. Mark follows, mumbling something about seeing me later. Linda stays. She sits across from me at the kitchen table. "Eleanor," she says quietly, "you can't keep doing this." "Doing what?" "Disappearing. Letting them treat you like you don't matter." I look down at my hands. They're shaking again. "I don't know what to do," I whisper. Linda reaches across the table, gripping my hands firmly. "You start by making yourself seen." That night, my phone lights up on the kitchen table. Rachel's name appears on the screen. A text message. "Did you like your gift?" I stare at the words. Bright, flat, like she's asking about the weather. My thumbs hover over the keyboard. I start typing. "Thank you, yes." But the words taste wrong. I erase them. I try again. "It was thoughtful of you." That doesn't feel honest either. I delete it. The cursor blinks. Waiting. What do I say? "Did I like the $4.99 socks you gave me while you spent $15,000 on your mother-in-law? Did I like being invisible at Christmas dinner while everyone celebrated Margaret? Did I like realizing that 40 years of sacrifice means nothing to you?" I set the phone down. Say nothing. The silence stretches. Outside, the neighbors' windows glow with Christmas lights, garlands, plastic reindeer, everything bright and cheerful. Inside my apartment, the decorations feel like clutter. The red and gold tinsel on my mantle, the holiday cards lined up on the credenza, some from people I barely remember. They all seem to be watching me, accusing. I should take them down, but I can't summon the energy. The trash is overflowing. The sink is crowded with dishes I keep meaning to wash. The socks, those damn socks, still sit on the counter, price tag poking out. My phone buzzes again. "Rachel. Mom? You there?" I pick up the phone, start typing. Stop. Delete. Start again. Nothing I write feels right. Finally, I type, "It was very practical." I hit send before I can overthink it. 3 dots appear immediately. She's typing. "Good. I thought you'd appreciate something useful. Margaret's gift was a bit extravagant, but you know how she is." And the smiley face emoji. I stare at the message. You know how she is. As if Margaret demanded the expensive gift. As if I had no choice. As if I'm unreasonable for feeling hurt. I set the phone down, face down this time, so I can't see if she texts again. I glance at the stack of bills on the table. The top envelope is stamped in red. Second notice. Electric bill. $247. Past due. I've been putting off paying it, using the little money I have for groceries instead. The heater clanks on, a harsh metallic sound that makes me flinch. For a moment, I feel the air grow heavy, as if the room itself is shrinking around me. I look at Rachel's message again, unread, unanswered, at least emotionally. The distance between us has never felt wider. Me, alone in this too bright room, surrounded by decorations meant to cheer. Her, reaching out only far enough to remind me how far apart we've grown. Or maybe we were always this far apart, and I just refused to see it. 2 days later, Rachel shows up at my door. It's 9 a.m. I'm still in my robe. "Let's go shopping, Mom." She's all bright smiles and artificial cheer. Margaret needs help choosing shoes for her trip. She doesn't ask if I want to come, doesn't wait for an answer, just loops her arm through mine and pulls me along. Rachel, I'm not feeling up to it. You'll feel better if you get out, she says. Her voice is loud, syrupy, for the neighbors to hear. Fresh air does wonders. Her phone is already in her hand. She's texting someone as we walk to her car. At the store, I trail behind Rachel and Margaret. They're laughing, holding up shoes, comparing styles. Rachel's arm is slung around Margaret's shoulder like they're best friends. I stand off to the side, holding Margaret's purse. Rachel pulls out her phone. Let me get a photo. She angles the camera toward Margaret. Hold up those sandals. Yes, perfect. Flash. Click. Mom, get in the frame, Rachel calls to me. I step forward, but she's already turned the camera back to Margaret. Another flash, another photo. I'm not in any of them. At lunch, Rachel posts the photos to Instagram. She narrates every detail for her followers, fingers flying across the screen. 3 generations, family time with my favorite ladies, and heart emoji. She nudges the phone across the table so I can see. The likes are pouring in. Comments gushing over their bond, over how blessed they are, over what a wonderful daughter Rachel is. My name doesn't appear anywhere. In the photos, I'm either completely cropped out or blurred in the background, like an afterthought, a stranger who wandered into the frame by accident. Look how many likes, Rachel says, beaming. Everyone loves these. Margaret pats my hand, distracted, not really looking at me. The gesture stings more than comforts. I try to speak, to remind Rachel that I'm here, that I raised her, that we used to go shopping together, just us two. But she's too busy. Fingers flying, attention fixed on the screen, responding to comments, hearting photos, tagging Margaret and everything. Isn't this fun? Rachel says, glancing up for just a second. There's a flicker of something in her eyes. Guilt, maybe, or annoyance that I'm not playing along. Then it's gone. She snaps one last photo, this time just her and Margaret, arms around each other, both grinning. I'm not even asked to be in it. By the time we leave the restaurant, I understand. I've become invisible. Not just in her photos, in her entire narrative. Rachel has built a new family, a new story, one where Margaret is the beloved mother figure and I'm nothing. Erased. Replaced. And this erasure isn't an accident. It's a choice. Broadcast to the world. For everyone to see. Except me. Linda shows up that afternoon. She doesn't knock, just lets herself in with the spare key I gave her years ago. She's carrying Tupperware. Thought you might want some pie, she says. Her voice is light, but her eyes are sharp. She can see I've been crying. She places the dish on my counter, doesn't fuss, doesn't fill the air with nervous chatter, just stands there quietly while I put the kettle on. We sit at the table. The silence stretches between us. Linda doesn't push. She just waits. Finally, I speak. She posted photos today from our shopping trip. I saw them, Linda says quietly. I'm not in any of them. Not really. I'm just blurred in the background. like I don't matter. Linda reaches across the table and takes my hand. You don't have to disappear to stay kind, Eleanor. I look up at her. My eyes are burning. You can be good to yourself, too, she continues. Her voice is gentle, but firm. It doesn't make you selfish. Sometimes holding your ground is the kindest thing you can do. For everyone. I want to believe her. I really do. But I keep thinking of Rachel, of the hollow space between us, of all the ways my kindness has made me invisible. I don't know how, I whisper. Linda squeezes my hand. You start small. You stop pretending everything is fine when it's not. And if that makes things worse, then at least you'll know where you stand. She pauses. Eleanor, you've spent 40 years making yourself smaller so Rachel could be bigger. Maybe it's time to take up some space. Her words don't solve anything. The ache remains. Stubborn, familiar. But something shifts. Just a little. Maybe I can hold on to that, at least for today. Still, as Linda leaves, I wonder if hope is just another way to set myself up for disappointment. The doubt lingers, sharp as ever, refusing to let go. But this time, there's something else underneath it. Anger. Small, quiet, but growing. That night, I sit by the window and pull out the old box, the one where I keep Rachel's letters. There aren't many. Birthday thank you cards, Mother's Day notes, a few letters from college. I spread them on my lap, my fingers trace the paper. One card from her 16th birthday. Thank you for everything, Mom. I couldn't do any of this without you. At the time, those words filled me with purpose, made every sacrifice worth it. Now, reading them, I hear only hollow routine, words she thought she was supposed to say. Did she ever mean them? I find another letter, this one from her sophomore year at college. Thanks for the help with tuition. I'll pay you back one day. No love, Rachel. No promise to call. I'd read it before, but I never noticed the absence until now. My chest tightens. When did it change? Or was it always like this and I just refused to see it? I think about Christmas. The socks with the price tag still attached. Was that carelessness or something else? I try to remember the last time Rachel's voice sounded warm when she spoke to me. Not just polite, actually warm. I can't. I almost laugh. These things are so small. An unsigned letter, a price tag, a tone of voice, but they burrow under my skin. They won't let go. The question forms in my mind, sharp and unavoidable. When did I stop deserving tenderness? Was I expecting too much? Is this just what happens? Mothers fade into the background, children move on. It's the natural order. But if that's true, why does it hurt so much? Why does everyone else seem fine with it? Rachel, Mark, Margaret, while I'm left holding these letters, trying to find proof that I mattered. The doubt clings to me, thin, sharp. But underneath it, That anger is still there, growing stronger. I put the letters back in the box, closed the lid. Something is shifting inside me. I'm not sure what it is yet, but I can feel it, and I don't think I can stop it. Rachel calls the next morning. I can tell she's distracted before she even speaks. There's a hum in her voice, background noise, a life moving too quickly for me to keep pace with. So, Margaret's all set for Paris. No hello, no how are you, Mom? I booked her train from Charles de Gaulle. She's thrilled, of course. I just hope the weather holds. Did you know spring in Paris can be unpredictable? Anyway, I found this amazing bistro near the Louvre. Hang on, Mark. I'll be there in a sec. Rachel, I'm trying to tell you. Sorry, Mom. What were you saying? My chest tightens. I had a dizzy spell yesterday. I almost fell. Oh, well, make sure you're drinking enough water. Dehydration can cause that. Anyway, the agency needs those Q2 projections, so I really have to. She's already gone. Moving on, as if my health is minor static on the line. Rachel, love you, Mom. Talk soon. Click. Dial tone. I sit there, phone in my hand, staring at the wall. My own daughter. And I feel like a clerk in her itinerary, a name half remembered in the shuffle. I look at the stack of medical bills on the kitchen table, the unopened envelope from the insurance company, $3,847. That's what I owe for the ER visit last month, the one after the dizzy spell that left me on the bathroom floor for 20 minutes before I could stand. Rachel doesn't know about that. I didn't tell her. What would be the point? She'd just tell me to drink more water. I press my palm to the cool Formica countertop, breathe in the faint scent of burnt toast from last night's dinner. I wanted to tell her about the nights I lie awake, counting the weeks until the next Social Security check, the pressure building in my chest until it feels like something might burst. But Rachel was already gone. The hierarchy is complete. Margaret's plans take center stage. Rachel's ambitions swirl around her like planets around the sun. And I'm the afterthought, the muted voice on the other end, unseen, unacknowledged. The pressure tightens. Invisible, but absolute. I can feel the walls drawing closer, the air growing thinner. Something worse is coming. I can sense it like a storm pressing against the glass, and I'm not sure I can keep holding it back. That afternoon, I sit at the kitchen table with my phone. Rachel's name glows on the screen. For 10 minutes, maybe more, I stare at it. My finger hovers over her contact. I open a new message. Rachel, we need to talk. Too abrupt. I erase it. I try again. I've been thinking about Christmas. No. I delete it before I can finish. My heart thuds, heavy, uncertain. I want to ask her, why the socks? Why Margaret? Why am I invisible to you? But the questions tangle themselves into accusations, and I can't bring myself to press send. Instead, I close my eyes and fold my hands. I try to pray, the way my mother taught me when I was small. Give me strength, I whisper. But the words feel thin, like a draft through old windows. They don't reach anywhere. My mind drifts. I picture Rachel, her perfect smile, the way she leans toward Margaret, seeking approval. I hear her voices. You understand, don't you, Mom? I'm not sure if it's memory or imagination anymore. I get up, make coffee. The ritual usually steadies me. The bitter scent fills the kitchen, grounds me for a moment, but the calm doesn't last. I sit again, cup warming my hands. The apartment is too still. Every tick of the clock presses in, reminding me I can't avoid this forever. I draft another message. Delete. I almost call Linda, but I put the phone down before dialing. There's a pull in both directions. Part of me wants to let it go, smooth things over, pretend nothing's wrong. Keep the peace. That's what I've always done for 40 years. But another part, the part that's been growing since Christmas, aches to do something final, something that can't be undone. I don't know which side will win. I only know I can't live like this, waiting, doubting, circling the same wound. The need for some act, something irreversible, grows stronger. But I'm not ready to cross that line, not yet. I set the phone down, face down, so I don't have to see Rachel's name staring back at me. And I sit there in the silence, waiting for something to break. The next morning, I open the bottom drawer of the old desk. I'm not looking for anything in particular, just a way to busy my hands. Instead, my fingers brush against a battered manila envelope. Its edges are soft from years of being shifted around. I know that handwriting before I even see the name. Michael's, my husband. His careful script, looping and sure. The date, 20 years ago, feels impossibly distant and impossibly close. I sit at the kitchen table and open the envelope. His will. Brief, practical. Everything left to me. But there's a note in the margin, written in blue ink, for Eleanor, with thanks for every sacrifice. The word sacrifice catches in my throat. I remember his pride in how we scraped and saved, how we made do so Rachel could have more. I run my thumb over the indentation his pen left in the paper, feeling the grooves like a private message. Then I reach for my own will, tucked behind the telephone bills. I haven't looked at it in years. Rachel's name stares back at me from the first line. Sole beneficiary. Just her, in stark, legal print. No notes, no thanks, nothing. A wave of nausea hits me. The room tilts. Michael's will and mine sit side by side on the table. His, with thanks for every sacrifice. Mine, sole beneficiary. These aren't just documents, they're ledgers of love. And suddenly, I see what I've done, and what I haven't. I pick up my phone, call Rachel. Mom, is everything okay? I found your father's will. Do you remember what he wrote in it? There's a pause. Not really. That was a long time ago. He left everything to me, but he wrote a note in the margin, for Eleanor, with thanks for every sacrifice. Silence. That's nice, Mom, Rachel says finally. Her voice is distant, distracted. Look, I'm in the middle of something. Can we talk later? Rachel, I'm looking at my will right now. You're the sole beneficiary. Okay. I found your father's will. You're the sole beneficiary. Your father thanked me for my sacrifices, but there's nothing in mine about... Mom, those papers are ancient. Don't let them upset you. I really have to go. Margaret needs help booking her museum tickets. Click.
I sit alone at the table. Michael's will, mine, side by side. The evidence is right here, in black and white. Michael valued sacrifice. Rachel doesn't even acknowledge it. And suddenly, I know what I need to do. I can't unknow what's written here, can't unsee the proof. The papers aren't just records, they're a choice. And I'm the only one who can make it. Linda picks me up the next morning. She says, "Come with me. I want you to meet someone." She drives me to Hope Haven Shelter, the place where she volunteers twice a week. Inside, the shelter hums with quiet activity, women folding laundry, a kettle hissing somewhere, the smell of coffee and soap. Linda steers me toward a table where a woman sits threading a needle through a patchwork quilt. She's maybe in her early 50s, gray streaks in her hair. Linda says, "This is June. June, this is Eleanor." June looks up and smiles. Her hands never stop moving. "Nice to meet you." Linda squeezes my arm. June's been rebuilding her life after a long estrangement from her daughter. I sit down across from June. Something tightens in my chest. Estrangement is a heavy word, isn't it? June says. She doesn't look up from her sewing. I used to think time would fix everything, that if I just waited long enough, my daughter would come back. She pauses, glances at the window, then back at her work. Turns out, time just makes you clever at hiding the cracks. I nod. I suppose we all have our ways of mending. June's voice gets softer. I tried everything. Gifts, letters, long silences. None of it worked. My daughter said she needed space, so I gave it. Years went by. I thought if I gave enough, she'd come back. She lets out a short laugh, not unkind, just sad. But maybe I was making it too easy for her to leave. The words hit me like cold water. Sometimes, June continues, kindness just means people don't have to face themselves.
Linda shifts in her seat. We all do our best. Kids don't always see it. June nods, but her eyes meet mine. Steady, knowing. Sometimes they don't want to. My daughter always wanted something to push against. I kept giving, hoping she'd see me, but I think she just saw the space I created, not the hands holding it open. Silence settles over the table. For a moment, I see Rachel's face, her careful distance, her easy smile for everyone but me. June's words unsettle something I've been telling myself for 40 years, that more giving would heal the gap. What if I've been wrong? What if all along I've been protecting Rachel from the very reckoning she needs? Linda touches my shoulder. You're here now, Eleanor. That's something. But June's words cling to me. I leave the shelter unsettled. The possibility growing that maybe love isn't always rescue, and that my story, and Rachel's, has more layers than I wanted to admit. That night, I make a decision. I call Mr. Reynolds, my attorney. I need to change my will, I say. There's a pause. Are you sure, Mrs. Davis? I'm sure. This is a significant change. Would you like to discuss it first? No, I say. My voice is steady, firm. I know exactly what I want to do. Another pause. Then, all right. Can you come in tomorrow morning? Yes. I hang up. My hands are shaking, but my mind is clear. For the first time in 40 years, I'm choosing myself, and I'm not going to apologize for it. 2 days later, I'm scrolling through my phone when I see it. A new post from Rachel. It's a photo.
Her and Margaret at some cafe, both smiling, arms around each other. The caption reads, "Two strong women I admire," with a flexing arm emoji and a heart. I stare at the screen. Two strong women, not three. Two. I'm not even mentioned, not even considered. The comments pour in. Beautiful ladies. Such a special bond. Love this mother-daughter energy. Mother-daughter energy between Rachel and Margaret. My hands shake as I screenshot the post. I send it to the printer. Watch the image slide out, glossy and bright. Rachel's smile. Margaret's pride. The caption that erases me completely. Two strong women I admire. I fold the paper, carefully, precisely. Then I tuck it into the envelope with the other documents. The socks with the $4.99 price tag, the photo from the shopping trip where I'm blurred in the background, the Instagram post calling Margaret Mom, and now this. Two strong women I admire. Evidence. That's what Mr. Reynolds called it when I showed him everything yesterday. You're building a case, not a legal one, but a personal one. He's right. These aren't just photos and posts. They're proof. Proof that I've been erased, replaced, forgotten. Proof that 40 years of sacrifice meant nothing. I look at the folded paper in my hand. Two strong women I admire. Tomorrow, I sign the new will, and Rachel will learn that respect isn't something you can take back once it's gone. She made her choice. Now, I'm making mine.
The next afternoon, I'm in the hallway outside my apartment. Coming back from checking the mail, I hear Rachel's voice through my door. She must have let herself in with her key. I gave it to her years ago for emergencies. Her voice is bright, casual. She's on speakerphone. I freeze, key in hand. "No, it was perfect," Rachel says, laughing. "The whole Christmas thing went so smooth. Margaret loved her trip, obviously, and Mom was totally fine with the socks." My breath catches. She doesn't care about that stuff, you know? She's just happy to have everyone together. Super low maintenance. The friend on the other end says something I can't hear. Rachel laughs again. "Right? I know. Some people would make a huge deal, but Mom's not like that. She never wants anything." I stand in the hallway, frozen. The words hit like cold glass. Mom was fine with the socks. She doesn't care about that stuff. She never wants anything. She's not just dismissing my feelings. She's rewriting them, telling her friends I was fine when I sat at that table shaking, when I went home and cried, when I've been carrying those socks around like a wound. She's erasing my pain, making it convenient, making it comfortable for herself. I hear movement inside. Rachel's still talking. "Honestly, it makes things so much easier. Margaret actually appreciates nice things, you know? She gets excited. Mom's just practical." Practical. That word again. As if 40 years of sacrifice made me practical instead of invisible. I unlock the door and walk in. Rachel jumps. "Oh, Mom, I didn't know you were—" "I heard you," I say quietly. Her face goes pale. The phone is still on speaker. Her friend's voice, "Rachel,
You there? Rachel grabs the phone, turns off speaker. I'll call you back, she mumbles, and hangs up. Silence. Mom, you were just what? My voice is steady, calm. Telling her friend I was fine with the socks, that I don't care about that stuff? I didn't mean, you told her I never want anything. I stepped closer. Is that what you really think, Rachel? That I don't want anything? Or is it just easier to believe that? She opens her mouth, closes it. Because it's not true. I continue. I wanted you to see me. I wanted you to remember who raised you. I wanted to matter as much as Margaret matters. Mom, you do matter. Then why did you spend $15,000 on her and $5 on me? She flinches. Why do all your Instagram posts feature Margaret and not me? Why do you call her Mom and introduce me as background noise? That's not fair. Fair? My voice rises, just slightly. You want to talk about fair? Rachel's eyes fill with tears. I didn't mean to hurt you. But you did. And instead of apologizing, you told her friend I was fine with it. She looks away. I don't know what you want me to say. I don't want you to say anything. I tell her. I wanted you to see it, to feel it, to care without me having to ask. Silence stretches between us. Finally, Rachel speaks. So what now? I look at her. My daughter. The girl I raised, the woman who forgot me. Now, I say quietly, you leave. I have an appointment. An appointment? With my attorney. Her eyes widen. What? Why? That's between me and Mr. Reynolds. Mom, what are you doing? I walk to the door, open it. Goodbye, Rachel. She stands there, shocked, uncertain. Mom? Goodbye. She leaves, slowly, looking back at me like she's seeing a stranger. Maybe she is. Maybe I've been a stranger to her for years, and I'm only just now letting her see it.
Mr. Reynolds' office smells like lemon polish and old paper. I've been coming here for 20 years, since Michael died. But today feels different. Today, I'm not just updating a document. I'm rewriting my entire legacy. Mr. Reynolds slides the papers across his desk. His eyes are gentle but serious. Mrs. Davis, I need to make sure you understand what you're doing. I understand. Your apartment, the jewelry your husband left you, your savings account, everything. He pauses. You're leaving it all to Hope Haven Shelter, nothing to Rachel? That's correct. He leans back in his chair, studies me. This is a significant change. Are you certain? I think about Rachel's voice on that phone. Mom was fine with the socks. She doesn't care about that stuff. I think about Christmas dinner, the $4.99 socks with the price tag. Margaret's $15,000 trip to Paris. I think about the Instagram posts. 2 strong women I admire. Not 3. 2. I think about 40 years of sacrifice, of making myself smaller so Rachel could be bigger. I'm certain, I say. Mr. Reynolds nods slowly. All right, let me walk you through the details. He explains each section. The apartment, worth approximately $340,000, my late husband's jewelry collection, appraised at $28,000, my savings account, $67,000. Total estate value, $435,000. All of it going to Hope Haven Shelter. And
You're aware, Mr. Reynolds says carefully, that once you sign this, Rachel will receive nothing upon your death. I'm aware. She may contest the will. Let her try. He raises an eyebrow. Mrs. Davis, I've known you for 2 decades. I've never heard you speak like this. Maybe it's time, I say quietly. He slides the final document across the desk. Initial here, here, and here. Sign at the bottom. My hand hovers over the pen. For just a moment, I hesitate. I think about Rachel as a little girl, 5 years old, shivering in that threadbare coat. The promise I made, she'll never feel poor again. But that promise cost me everything, and she never even noticed. I pick up the pen. The metal feels cool, heavy, like it weighs more than it should. My signature moves across the page. Eleanor Davis, clear and steady. Initial, initial, initial. Sign. With each mark, 40 years of devotion shifts direction, away from the daughter who forgot me toward the shelter that sees me.
Mr. Reynolds gathers the papers. His expression is unreadable, but not unkind. It's done, he says quietly. I sit back in my chair. My hands are shaking, but my mind is clear. Thank you, I tell him. Mrs. Davis. He pauses. I hope you know what you're doing. I do, I stand. For the first time in 40 years, I'm choosing myself. Will you tell Rachel? I think about that. Eventually, when the time is right. And when will that be? When she asks. If she asks. I leave Mr. Reynolds' office with the signed documents in my purse. The afternoon sun is bright, almost too bright. I feel lighter somehow and heavier, both at once. 40 years of sacrifice, redirected with the signature. My apartment, Michael's jewelry, my savings. All of it going to women who need help, women who've been erased, forgotten, left behind. Women like me. Rachel doesn't know yet, but she will. And when she does, she'll finally understand what it feels like to be invisible, to be forgotten, to realize too late that love without respect is just an empty word. I walk to my car. For the first time in months, I don't feel like crying. I feel like I've finally taken up space, and I'm not giving it back. Back home, I close the door behind me, lock it, chain it. And then I collapse. Not on the couch, not in the chair. Right there on the floor, back against the door. And I weep. It starts as a tremor in my chest. Small, manageable. Then it breaks. 40 years of holding it together, 40 years of being strong, being patient, being understanding. All of it pours out. I sob. Deep, wrenching sounds that feel like they're tearing me apart from the inside. My hands shake, my whole body shakes. The room feels smaller, the walls pressing in, but also lighter, as if something heavy has been lifted. I cry for the little girl Rachel used to be. the one who hugged me tight and said, "I love you, Mama," every night. I cry for the promise I made, that she'd never feel poor again, that she'd have everything I didn't. I cry for the woman she became, the one who forgot where she came from, who erased me to fit in with people who would never really accept her. I cry for myself, for the 40 years I spent disappearing, making myself smaller, quieter, less. The sobs eventually slow. My breath comes in gasps, hiccups. I press my palms to the cool floor, try to ground myself. The apartment is silent, except for my ragged breathing. I look around at the faded furniture, the photos on the wall, the decorations I never took down from Christmas. Everything looks the same, but I'm different. My phone buzzes somewhere across the room. I don't get up to check it. It buzzes again and again. Probably Rachel, probably panicking, wondering what I meant about the attorney. Let her wonder. I sit there on the floor for a long time. My body still trembles, my hands still shake. But my decision holds steady. The will is signed. The documents are filed. I've stripped away the illusion, the one I've been living in for decades. The illusion that my sacrifice mattered, that my love was valued, that I was seen. Eventually, I pull myself up, wash my face, make tea. My eyes are swollen, red, puffy, but I don't look away from the mirror. I look at myself, really look, and I see someone I haven't seen in years, someone who takes up space, someone who matters, someone who chose herself. The phone buzzes again. This time I check it. 7 missed calls from Rachel, 12 text messages. "Mom, please call me. What did you do with the attorney's office? Mom, I'm worried. We need to talk. Please answer. Mom? I'm coming over." I read them all. Then I turn the phone off. I'm not ready to talk to her yet. Maybe I never will be. I sit at the kitchen table with my tea. The apartment feels different now, emptier, but also more mine. I've spent 40 years filling this space with love for Rachel, making sure she had everything she needed. Now I'm filling it with something else. Respect for myself. Dignity for myself. Space for myself. Outside, the sun is setting. Orange light filters through the windows. I'm exhausted, hollowed out, raw. But I'm also free. Free from the weight of trying to earn love that should have been freely given. Free from the illusion that sacrifice equals value. Free from being invisible. A knock at the door. "Mom? Are you in there?" Rachel's voice muffled through the wood. I don't answer. "Mom, please, I know you're upset. Let me in. We can talk about this." I stay quiet. Another knock, harder this time. "Mom, open the door!" I close my eyes, take a deep breath, and I stay silent. After a few minutes, I hear her footsteps retreat down the hallway. The building door opens and closes. She's gone. I sit in the fading light. My body is tired,
My heart is heavy, but my decision is firm. I've chosen myself, and there's no going back.
Eventually, I pull myself up, wash my face, make tea. My eyes are swollen, red, puffy, but I don't look away from the mirror. I look at myself, really look, and I see someone I haven't seen in years, someone who takes up space, someone who matters, someone who chose herself. The phone buzzes again. This time I check it. 7 missed calls from Rachel, 12 text messages. Mom, please call me. What did you do with the attorney's office? Mom, I'm worried. We need to talk. Please answer. Mom? I'm coming over. I read them all. Then I turn the phone off. I'm not ready to talk to her yet. Maybe I never will be. I sit at the kitchen table with my tea. The apartment feels different now, emptier, but also more mine. I've spent 40 years filling this space with love for Rachel, making sure she had everything she needed. Now I'm filling it with something else. Respect for myself. Dignity for myself. Space for myself. Outside, the sun is setting. Orange light filters through the windows. I'm exhausted, hollowed out, raw. But I'm also free. Free from the weight of trying to earn love that should have been freely given. Free from the illusion that sacrifice equals value. Free from being invisible. A knock at the door. Mom? Are you in there? Rachel's voice muffled through the wood. I don't answer. Mom, please, I know you're upset. Let me in. We can talk about this. I stay quiet. Another knock, harder this time. Mom, open the door! I close my eyes, take a deep breath, and I stay silent. After a few minutes, I hear her footsteps retreat down the hallway. The building door opens and closes. She's gone. I sit in the fading light. My body is tired, my heart is heavy, but my decision is firm. I've chosen myself, and there's no going back. The next morning, there's a knock at my door. Early. 7 a.m. I know who it is before I open it. Rachel stands in the hallway. Her eyes are red. She's been crying. Behind her, Mark hovers, uncomfortable, silent. In Rachel's hand, the socks. Those damn $4.99 socks, still in the plastic bag. She holds them out like a peace offering. Mom, she says. Her voice cracks. Don't do this. I look at her. My daughter. The girl I raised. Don't do what? I ask quietly. Whatever you did at the attorney's office? Please, we can fix this. I'll do better. I promise. Mark shifts behind her. Eleanor, maybe we can all sit down and talk. There's nothing to talk about, I say. Rachel's face crumples. Mom, please, I made a mistake. I see that now. But you can't just, what? My voice is gentle, steady. Choose myself? She flinches. Can't decide that 40 years of being invisible is enough? I never meant to make you feel invisible, but you did. I look her in the eyes. You gave Margaret $15,000 and me $5. You posted photos calling her a strong woman you admire. You told your friend I was fine with the socks because I don't care about that stuff. Her tears spill over. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'll make it up to you. I swear. How? I ask. How will you make it up? With another pair of socks? With a post on Instagram? With words you don't mean? I do mean them. You mean them now. Because you're scared. because you realize there might be consequences. But you didn't mean them when it mattered. Mark steps forward. Eleanor, Rachel loves you. She made some mistakes, but some mistakes. I look at him. Your mother got a trip to Paris. I got gas station socks. That wasn't a mistake. That was a choice. He goes quiet. Rachel holds out the socks again, her hand trembling. I'll return these. I'll get you something better, something you actually want. I don't want anything from you, Rachel. The words hang in the air. Her face goes white. What? I don't want gifts. I don't want apologies. I don't want promises. Then what do you want? I look at her. Really look at her. I wanted you to see me, without me having to ask, without me having to beg. I wanted you to value me the way you value Margaret. I wanted to matter. You do matter. No, I say softly. I don't. Not to you. Not anymore. Maybe not for a long time. Rachel is shaking now. Mom, please, tell me what you did at the attorney's office. We can fix it. Whatever it is. I changed my will. Silence. Mark's eyes widen. Rachel goes very still. You... what? I changed my will. Everything goes to Hope Haven Shelter. The apartment, the jewelry, the savings, all of it. Rachel staggers back, like I physically pushed her. You can't... that's my inheritance. No, I say. It was mine, and now it's theirs. Mom, you can't do this to me. I already did. The words are gentle, unwavering. Rachel's face cycles through emotions. Shock, anger, disbelief. This is insane, she breathes. You're doing this because of socks? Because of one bad Christmas? No, I tell her. I'm doing this because of 40 years. Because of every time I made myself smaller so you could be bigger. Because of every sacrifice you never acknowledged. Because I finally realized that love without respect is just an empty word. Rachel shakes her head. I can contest this. I can fight it. You can try. She looks at Mark. Say something. Mark opens his mouth, closes it. He doesn't know what to say.
Rachel turns back to me, her expression shifting, desperate now. I'll change. I promise. I'll be better. Just undo this, please. I can't. You mean you won't? I mean, I can't. I won't. Because I've spent 40 years waiting for you to see me, and you never did. I'm done waiting. Tears stream down her face. You're my mother. You're supposed to love me no matter what. I do love you, I say quietly, but I love myself too, and that's something I should have learned a long time ago. Rachel stands there, the socks still clutched in her hand. She looks lost, like a child who doesn't understand why she's being punished. I don't know what to say, she whispers. There's nothing to say. It's done. Mark touches her arm. Rachel, we should go. She doesn't move, just stares at me. Mom? Goodbye, Rachel. She opens her mouth. Nothing comes out. Finally, she turns, walks away. Mark follows. I watch them disappear down the hallway. Then I close the door. I lean against it, my heart pounding. My hands are shaking, but my decision is firm. I chose myself, and I do it again. Wait. I open the door again. Rachel is still in the hallway, halfway to the elevator. She turns, hope flashing across her face. Mom? I walk toward her, slowly. She stands there, frozen, the socks still clutched in her hand. When I reach her, I do something I haven't done in months. I kiss her forehead, gentle, deliberate. Then I press something into her hand. An envelope, sealed. "What is this?" she whispers. "Read it when you're ready." "Mom, I don't understand." "You will." I turn and walk back to my apartment. "Mom, wait!" I close the door, lock it, chain it. This time, I don't lean against it. I don't collapse. I walk to the window, sit in the armchair Michael used to love, and I wait. Outside in the hallway, I hear Rachel's voice, muffled, uncertain. "What does it say?" That's Mark. I hear paper tearing, the envelope opening. Silence. Then Rachel's voice, barely audible, reading aloud. "My dearest Rachel, you gave me warmth for my feet. I'm giving you space to walk your own path. For 40 years, I tried to be everything you needed. I sacrificed, I gave, I loved, and somewhere along the way, I forgot to do those things for myself. I don't blame you for becoming who you are. I blame myself for teaching you that my love required nothing in return. The socks were never about the money. They were about being seen, being valued, being remembered. You have a new family now, Margaret, the Hayes, a life I could never give you. I hope it makes you happy. I hope one day you understand why I had to choose myself. I hope you find someone who sees you the way I always saw you, completely, unconditionally, without question. And I hope you learn to see them back. The shelter will put my estate to good use. Women who have been forgotten the way I was forgotten. Women who need to be seen the way I needed to be seen. This isn't punishment. It's a lesson. Love without respect is just an empty word. I will always be your mother, but I will no longer be invisible. Walk your path, Rachel. I'm finally walking mine. With love, Mom. Silence in the hallway. Then I hear it. A sob. Raw. Broken. Rachel crying in a way I haven't heard since she was a child. Mark's voice. Low. Trying to comfort her. But she can't be comforted because she finally understands. I sit by the window as sunlight filters in. The apartment is quiet, peaceful. My hands rest in my lap. Still, steady. No more trembling. My silence has been transformed, not into absence, into dignity. I don't know what happens next. If Rachel will come back, if she'll try to fix things, if she'll contest the will. I don't know if she'll ever truly see me, but I know this. I see myself, and that's enough. The sunlight warms my face. I close my eyes. For the first time in 40 years, I'm not waiting for anyone else to fill the space. I'm filling it myself, and it feels like coming home. Outside, the hallway goes quiet. Rachel and Mark are gone. The letter is out there now, in her hands, in the world. The truth I couldn't say with my voice, but could write with my pen. I open my eyes, look around the apartment. This place, these walls, this life, it's mine. Not Rachel's, not Michael's memory. Mine. I stand, make tea, sit at the kitchen table. There's a calmness I haven't felt in decades.
The kind that comes from knowing you've done the right thing. Not the easy thing, not the comfortable thing, but the right thing. My phone buzzes. A text from Linda. How did it go? I typed back, I chose myself. 3 dots appear. Then, good. I'm proud of you. I smile. Linda understands. She's always understood. Another text comes through. This one from Rachel. I'm sorry, Mom, for everything. I don't know if sorry is enough, but I mean it. I stare at the message for a long time. Then I type, thank you. I don't say, I forgive you. I don't say, come back. I don't say, let's fix this. Just, thank you. Because that's all I have to give right now. And it's enough. I set the phone down, return to the window. The city moves below, people rushing, living, existing. And I'm part of it, not invisible, not erased. Here, present, seen, by the person who matters most, myself. The sunlight shifts. Afternoon melting into evening. I sit in my chair, my space, my home. My silence is no longer empty. It's full, full of dignity, full of worth, full of peace. I chose myself, and I would do it again, every single time.